Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Today we are going to be ranking all Zetas for your arena, talking about their viability and just how good they are. But because we have so many Zetas in the game now, I'm going to need some help. So please welcome the one and the only Cubsfan Han. How's it going, man?
What is going on, McMollites, or whatever I should call your channel subscribers?
Alright, we're going to put that in the blooper reel.
How about McMinions?
Ooh, I like McMinions. Yeah, let's go with McMinions.
That's pretty good. You heard it here first.
First off, the first image you guys are going to be seeing here is tier 1 and 2 of your Zetas. Now keep in mind that we are ranking just the Zetas, not the characters. So we're talking about whether or not these Zeta investments are something that's good for your team and whether this makes the character incredibly good in Arena. So Cubs, looking at tier 1 first, what do you think?
You know, and it's a good thing that you're outlining here right at the beginning that we're separating the Zeta from the character. It's the ability itself, because that's kind of hard to do. When I'm looking at this list, I'm immediately thinking I don't really want to use Kylo Ren unmasked in Arena, for example, or even Darth Nihilus. Now I'm not as high on using him, but their Zeta abilities are pretty solid. I don't think that I would personally put, and we're gonna disagree a bit on a few things here. I don't think I would personally put Kylo Ren or Wound in the Force on Darth Nihilus in this tier 1 category, albeit they do deserve some praise because they're great Zeta abilities. But I think a lot of the others here are definitely looking like tier 1 caliber Zetas, especially R2-D2's number crunch and combat analysis. Those are a must for the arena. Han's shoot first is very solid, and I think Rey's insight is very good. Those are some of my favorite Zeta abilities in the game, and let's not forget Mother Talzin as well. She definitely deserves a spot there. Old Ben, I think with Jedi Rey is becoming more prominent. They seem to work really well together. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think that was a pretty good tier 1 you got there, buddy.
Yeah, no, we were talking about this before. You definitely don't like Kylo Ren being up there in tier 1. And yeah, I mean, this is something else to note, is that people's experiences will vary from arena to arena. But usually overall, these characters are what you're seeing in the meta, especially with their Zetas. Like, these Zetas are what makes their teams, like, super meta. Like, for General Veers, without his Zeta on his unique, you pretty much are not going to see a lot of Imperial Troopers in that meta, but once you Zeta him, your Imperial Troopers become an incredibly deadly team in Arena.
And he's a Talzin killer, and that's one of the few true counters to Talzin. I think a lot of people try to work around Talzin in other ways. I know I will put Chirrut Baze in to get around Talzin, because it gives me that heal that I need. But it's kind of like a band-aid, you know. It's not a solution. Veers is a solution.
Moving on to tier 2, you can see there's a bunch of first order characters there at the top. We have the Virtuous Protector from Jedi Training Rey, and surprisingly we have a couple of Phoenix Zetas in here, and you also see Finn. So Cubs, I think you probably disagree with some of these, especially one of the characters at the very bottom. So please, give me your thoughts here. Let me know what you think.
Dude, Chirpa does not deserve to be tier 2, in my opinion.
No, I know. So this is definitely the one that, like, tore me up the most, going back and forth. But after looking at the videos... Give me your logic.
Defend this. Defend this to me.
So, yeah. So it's not personal experience for me. It's what I've seen from the community and what I've seen your Ewok teams do. They're not exactly a, like, super meta team, but they can be very competitive, especially once you start building up the Ewok team around him. With the Zeta for Chirpa, it allows your Ewok allies to call in assists whenever they use special abilities, and those assists is what your Ewok teams build around. This Zeta really allows your Ewok teams to become super competitive. Now, I know for you, personally, you haven't seen that. I personally have not seen it in my arena, but from what I've seen from the community with the Zeta Chirpa, you get a really solid Ewok team.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm sold, but I'm intrigued. It's something maybe I'll have to go give a go on the test account, maybe. But I will agree with you on this. The sound effects that come with that Zeta ability when all those Ewoks go tribal on you, that's at least tier 2.
Yes. I don't know. Those Ewoks screaming with joy and everything. I don't know. I might have to throw this into tier 1 now.
The sound effects make this tier 1.
Yes, yes. And the community poured in their outrage.
Yep.
So, yeah, so what do you think about the Phoenix?
You know, I still don't see very much Phoenix in Seasoned Shards, so I have a hard time putting a Zeta ability for Phoenix on priority for anyone who wants to be competitive at the top. But they still do, I mean, they work very well together in other areas of the game, at least, especially, they've proven to be a really go-to defensive team for territory wars. And I think Sabine in particular has a Zeta ability that I love using. I don't have her on my main account, but on the test account, when those Zetas first came out, and I was playing around with it, it's just, I mean, it's sexy to be able to expose everybody.
Oh yeah, the exposes the offense up and crit chance up.
Yeah, I mean that's another part of Demolished that I love. Sabine's Zeta in particular is the can't counter part. That works very well against rebels because your fear in using any AOE is that you're just gonna get ganged up on by the whole other team countering you. But that ability can't be countered. So yeah, I think I agree with it being tier 2. In some ways, I just wish that I don't give Phoenix my full endorsement yet.
Right, yeah, no, that's understandable. There's still a lot of people out there who are very skeptical of Phoenix. So anything else in tier 2 you wanna discuss?
Maybe we should talk about Finn, dude.
Yeah, so I know you wanted to throw Finn into tier 1. My personal belief for this was Finn is really great on offense with his Zeta. Like, it's an incredible offensive team. But it's so horrendous on defense. Right. It's just not a viable defensive team. So if you keep him on defense, it's gonna drop like a rock. And that's why I can't throw him into tier 1, because it's only a half measure of a Zeta for me personally.
Yeah. See, and I would say if you're looking at it from an offensive standpoint, I think you and me both can agree it's tier 1.
Yeah, absolutely tier 1.
But if you're just looking at it from a defensive standpoint, it's tier 4 and below. Because it just doesn't do anything on defense. So I can get behind that. I think 2 might be a good compromise for it. But from separating the Zeta ability from the character, that Zeta ability, when utilized properly, is incredibly powerful. And I think absolutely deserving of a tier 1.
Yeah, no, I recently did a video comparing the Jedi Ray and Finn leadership Zetas, and you know, Finn's widely regarded. Yeah, Finn was widely. Thank you for that. Finn was widely regarded as as like the #1 Zeta in all the game, and you know, a lot of people were being concerned with Jedi Ray. Is like, well, is my Finn Zeta lead useless now? And it's like, well, no, not really. I mean, she's better in arena, especially on defense. She can do more in raids, but for territory battles and even like territory wars, you can do way better with a Finn Zeta. And it's still probably your best Zeta investment you can go for in the entire game.
Yeah, look, if you guys just Zeta Finn, and if you're wondering, like, was that a bad investment or is it still worth giving it to him? To put it in perspective for you, I'm a free-to-play player. I take my Zeta abilities very seriously. When I give a Zeta to somebody, I like pray about it. I go to the go to talk to priests about it, and I get real serious about whether or not I'm going to give a Zeta to somebody. And I gave a Zeta to Finn about a week before Jedi Ray's kit was announced. Ooh. And yeah, I know I was late. I was totally late to the whole thing.
Way late on that
bandwagon,
one, man.
And I do not regret it.
All right, so moving on to tier 3. So I know you still had some more characters you want to debate in here. We have characters like both Yodas and their Zetas. You have Qui-Gon Jinn and Old Ben, some Rebels. But really, what do you think of this ranking?
So, I agree with Thrawn being in here. It does make me a bit sad to see Qui-Gon Jinn in here. He was my first ever Zeta ability, and that was a Zeta ability that really, really ramped up my arena viability when I gave it to him. I'm not so sure that I like Qui-Gon being in tier 3. All the members of my community are going to call bias because I love Jedi, but
I'm right there with you. I mean, I love my Jedi. Yeah. I mean, it pained me so much to put Ezra in tier 3.
I just noticed you have Ezra in tier 3. You of all people.
But you know, it's kind of crazy. Like, if you look at tier 3, like, it's kind of like the it's kind of like the Hall of Fame in a way, because I mean you have Darth Vader, you have Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn,
and Maul needs to be discussed. Look, I mean, it is a crime that Maul was so meta for so short.
No, the only crime about Maul was that he was ever meta at all.
Oh,
like,
come on.
as someone who had to fight through the old Ben Dooku evasion meta all the time, I was furious to see Maul be the new meta.
No, I liked it, and in hindsight, I still like it, even though I never had a Sith team. I never had Maul. My Maul is my sacrificial lamb for 0 posts on raids, because he's 7-star, gear 1, level 1, nothing on him, and so, but it was the only real, I would say, true dark side meta we ever had. I'm seeing, is that Acolyte or Initiate?
That is Initiate.
I didn't even know
Acolyte,
she had a Zeta ability. I'm going to be fully honest.
She does. She does. It's.
I need to look this thing up right now.
It's, if she has 100% health, she gains like 50% additional counter chance. No, 50% additional offense and 30% counter chance.
Look at that.
So that, yeah, she. It's an odd one. Moving on to Tier 4, the worst of the worst, the Zetas that you will absolutely not really want to invest in for Arena. And I know people are going to sit here and look at BB-8 and say, well, that's kind of odd. Why is BB-8 down here? Keep in mind, that Zeta is protection and health regeneration for droid allies whenever he evades. Right. And really, you're not going to see that very often. You're going to use R2-D2 beside him and a resistance team. But your BB-8 droid team's not really something that you're going to see much of in Arena.
No.
Pal's down here, good old Lord Pal. I wish I could have him. I was really thinking about just trolling everybody, just throw him into Tier 1 just to see what people would do. Like, just throw him into Tier 1 and everyone would be like, oh, right, McBull's at it again with his love of Pal. So what do you think about Tier 4? You got anything?
Yeah, I think it looks right for the most part. I think a while ago I might have said Leia is probably deserving to her Zeta abilities a bit better.
Are you talking about Princess Leia or Rebel Officer Leia?
Princess Leia, I should clarify. And then Savage Opress. This Zeta ability has definitely fallen out of favor, especially with characters like Rey Jedi Training or the Wampa, who can apply that healing immunity. I feel like that Zeta ability in and of itself is better than a Tier 4, but just because of what counters we have now, I can see why you put it there.
Yeah, I mean, you have some pretty meta characters that give out healing immunity like it's candy. Alright, so guys, that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you again, Cubs, for coming along. Before you go, I just need you to say 3 simple words. Greedo shot first.
Go to hell.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. That'll do.
It's very documented. It is established. It is an empirical fact that Han shot first.
Are you sure about that? Because
it's an empirical fact.
Sure. Are you sure about that? I'm pretty sure I can go watch a version of Star Wars I have right now and have Greedo shoot first.
Arnold Schwarzenegger once wore a shirt that said Han shot first. I rest my case.
Are you sure that you're not thinking of George Lucas?
No. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll send you a picture and you're going to put it on this video.
Okay. But wouldn't the picture of George Lucas wearing it be better?
No. Actually, that would probably hurt my case.
Oh, poor George. George.
We all have a love-hate relationship with Georgie.
Yeah. Good old man. Man, I can't wait for Jar Jar Binks to come into this game. I don't know about you.
Speaking of pals, that'd be worse than Pal. That'd be worse than Ezra.
Can you imagine if Jar Jar and Pal were like the new meta team? How furious everybody would be, except for me. I'd be like running around squealing like a little kid, acting like I just won the lottery or something.
That's when you need to kill your app and walk away. That's the moment.
All right. Alright, well, thanks again, guys, for watching, and as always, go check out Cubsfan Han's channel. There's a link to it down below. Definitely go check out his stuff. He's got some pretty good things going on over there. But as always, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you all later.